Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a meeting of the Revere City Council Subcommittee on Veterans Affairs. Can everybody please take their seats? I'd like to welcome everybody November 19th meeting, and we don't meet that often, so we do have an issue we have to discuss. And I just want to introduce our committee members: Councilor Correggio, Councilor Haas, Councilor Patch, and Councilor Zambuto. And the issue we have, we passed out a protocol that I'm going to invite our Director of Veteran Services, Nick Boer, to explain what's going on with it. Mr. Boer, name and address for the record, please.
Nicholas Boer, 1 Revere Beach Boulevard in Revere. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. What my objective tonight is to submit a protocol to the City Council, and in order to have some sort of formal way of recognizing each and every one of our veterans who have passed away. At the present time, we have a process where sometimes it comes to the City Council, sometimes it comes through the Veterans Department, sometimes it goes through the Sign Department, and what I would like to do is to have a protocol in order to follow. In this way, we can keep track as to our veterans in the community and the number of memorials that we have. It's a huge job decorating these memorials. We have a sign department. He goes around and decorates all these memorials, and we have hundreds and hundreds of them. And at the present time, they've been doing a tremendous job, and they always get the job done. But what I would like to do is establish some sort of protocol, so this way memorial signs are for veterans, and that's who we should have, the veterans and our politicians. If someone is crossing the street and they're accidentally killed, it's a terrible tragedy, but it doesn't justify a memorial for them at that location. What I'd like to do is just have a system where we have just the veterans, Gold Star mothers and fathers, and they would be memorialized at these locations. And also a record could be kept as to where the locations are. So I have submitted this request to establish a protocol, and for any which includes sidewalk signs, stones, and plaques in the community pertaining to veterans. So, and as far as the politicians are concerned, the City Council can handle that. So it's been submitted. There's 10 items here. I don't know if you wish to have me read each and every one of them, but I will if you would like it.
What's the will of the committee? Everybody got a copy before? Waive the reading. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are on the committee first, anybody like to speak on it on that end? Councilor Haas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just had one second paragraph there. The request must indicate the name, rank. Oh, I'd like to have somewhere put in the second paragraph in branch of service, where you're just saying the request must indicate the name, I think, in branch of service of the veteran.
Okay,
Instead of just,
we would like to have the name.
Page two, second paragraph.
We would like to have the name with the rank of the veteran and the service that they served in.
That's good.
Yes.
That's not in there.
that's the way we wish to have it, is
Absolutely. I
with the
agree.
name. I have a copy of one that we've been putting up lately, and Mr. Levine, I think, was the first one we had with the service on there, and if they have any, Purple Heart, if there's room, we could put that down, just to give them the honor that they deserve.
I think to establish a protocol without question is greatly needed, just for veterans. And I think that's very important that we establish the baseline and move forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody else on my left? Councilor Penta.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, just looking over this, the only thing I would like to maybe add in here, or maybe it would be a different sign, would be in the active service. In other words, a policeman, fireman, somebody in the active duty, could possibly lose their life and not be a veteran,
Well,
That-
that's
that-
something,
this
that's
excludes
something for the city council to
So you're
take up.
so you're basically just asking for veterans, and the other signage is different.
Veterans, any memorial for a veteran should come through the Veterans Office so
So-
we could keep a record of it.
Well, that's my point. Strictly, my thing is, we should have one focal point. In other words, I know that, say, a police officer or a fireman in the line of duty or whatever, someone makes a motion up here to put a memorial sign up. It still should be one focal point for that. And I'm just saying, if you don't want to take that task on, that's fine. I was just thinking of somewhere around
Well,
that.
as far as that is concerned, the firemen have their memorial up at the Point of Pines. The police could possibly have their memorial at the new police station. And this way, it doesn't really interfere with any of the veteran corners or the veteran memorials.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Patch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nick, you do a fabulous job being a veteran. You do a fabulous job with the veterans.
Thank you.
And this is long overdue because I can remember once this put me in a predicament where I always believed that the black memorial signs should be just for veterans, and you're right. We can, as a council, if there's another sign that has to be put up with some other for some other purpose, we can always vote on that. But the control of these veteran signs or these memorial signs should be handled by you and only you. And I'm 100% for this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody else on the left? Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have one question. Maybe if I'm reading this right, assuming there's a memorial sign already in existence, let's say for a firefighter or police officer somewhere that was not a veteran, but was recognized for good cause through previous city council or councilors. The $25 charge, couldn't that be left up to the discretion of the city, city itself, the Department of Public
Well, it
Works?
could be. I just thought it's an expense to the community. I know.
I don't think there's probably that many of them around, but
Well, there isn't, but
let's say that someone has one of those signs and the family becomes deceased, moves out of the city, et cetera. Does that mean that if nobody's going to pay $25 to decorate those, maybe half a dozen signs, if there are that many, that they're not going to be decorated on Memorial
we
Day?
could use that to the discretion of the city if they wish to do it.
Yeah.
It's just try to keep a limit as far as some of these memorials are concerned, because I buy the flags for all these signs, and although they're relatively inexpensive, but We wish to just sort of keep the cost down somewhat. The wreaths cost in the vicinity of $20, so it might cost us $25 plus the installation of the wreath at the memorial. That's the only thing.
No, I understand. I just want to make sure that we're not discriminating against some guy that perhaps wasn't a veteran, but maybe a police officer or firefighter that has a memorial somewhere that died in the line of duty, and, it goes undecorated.
Well, generally, we've been decorating them for years and years, so maybe what we could do is
I want to say existing.
grandfather.
Yeah, the existing ones in.
The existing ones in, yes.
I would agree with that. Thank you.
Council Guanasso.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Who's the caretakers of these poles and these memorials?
Mostly the sign department.
So in reference to a conversation I had with one of the area residents a couple of weeks ago, on Hutchinson Street, there's a memorial sign for her, one of her relatives. And whereas with the Storm Sandy, hurricane wiped out most of the signage there, what it did was, on this particular sign, it blew the flag away plus the wreath. Now, I've made inquiry into the Department of Public Works for them to have that replaced as soon as possible at the request of the family. But, so they are the caretakers of these memorials?
They're the caretakers, yes. Park Avenue had a big problem when they were redoing the sidewalks. They took a lot of the poles down, and some of the poles, they weren't, some of the memorials, they weren't reinstalled. And they don't know where they went to. So these are different things that we have to address with the sign department, and apparently he has other duties besides the signs. So it's very difficult for him to sometimes get the stock in order to make the signs. But we want to try to have some sort of uniformity as far as the memorials are concerned. And also, a lot of the signs have misspelled last names, and we want to correct that. But first of all, we have to make sure that all the signs are up and they're noted where they're located.
So what I'm referring, why I bring this up is that in the 10 items that you have here, I would like probably an 11 inserted, where to inform, to have it on record as who takes care of that, so that we're all in agreement, so that when we all decide in the 4 or 5 years from now, and we've all forgotten about this, there's some sort of documentation that exists that says, places the responsibility on a particular department in the DPW or a particular source that cares for these memorials, which I think really we have to have a designation as to who takes care of them, because they're so important to memorialize those individuals who have placed their name upon them. So I
Well,
think
at the present time, the sign department does maintain the signs, and they correct any discrepancies for misspelled names, but so...
that I understand, but I'm talking about in the particular case that I referred to just recently was the flag and the wreath. Now, who would be the responsible person for
Well,
that?
normally it's done Memorial Day.
And who does that?
The sign department, Ray takes care of the putting up the wreaths. I provide the flags, DPW provides the wreath.
So I would like that mentioned here in
Sure.
these items, that so that we have some sort of protocol to follow in the event
Sure.
an event happens later on in the future.
Could do
Thank
that.
you. Good job, Nick. Thank you.
Council Correggio.
Thank you, Chairman Novoselsky. Nick, you're doing an excellent job there for the veterans. Maintenance of some of these signs. Do you work with the Public Works with this, with signage?
Yes, Ray, I work with Ray Andriani, and he and I, we confer with the, I ask him, I call him up when are you going to put up the sign? We work together, so Ray's been very helpful.
There is one sign down, if you could make a note, maybe I can call the Public Works, Roland and Randall. I was walking through the area today, and the sign is down on the ground against someone placed it against the pole. So you might want to make,
If you call
Yeah,
me
it's been
tomorrow
there.
morning, I'll be happy to address it.
okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, so from what I can gather, the couple things that the committee would like to see in the name and rank and service. Well, we know the name, but the rank and service on the name as long as there's room. And the other thing is the caretaker of the memorials was recommended as DPW, but I would also include the Department of Veteran Services as the caretaker, because the DPW does not know what names go where. Nick has a full list, which, may I ask, and I think last year Nick and I have been going out over the last 2 years, inspecting all the signs and putting them on Excel so we know it's up to date. And I know just in my area, over the years since the blizzard of '78, and we talked about the hurricane, I have 20 names of veterans that are missing, just in my area. And that's over the years, and I can understand that from rust and wind and snowstorms and stuff like that. And, I did submit a list to the sign department, to have those repaired. And I know I had asked some of the councilors, the ward councilors, to, take a little peek around their neighborhood and with the list that we had to confirm or deny whether or not these are missing. And I know Councilor Patch helped, and myself. And, we just want to make sure that everybody's there. So hopefully we can get that list to our ward councilors to double check. I know it's a little effort, but I think for our veterans, it's that time that we do respect them and put them back on the books and know that they're there, and their families know that they're there. So we'll get that list together for everybody. So with those change recommendations, the committee wish to vote on this protocol. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Councilor Hess? Yes. Councilor Patch? Yes. Councilor Zambudo?
Yes.
It's approved, and we'll bring this up in front of the full city council tonight and put this thing to bed. Thank you very much for your time, and thanks everybody for watching.